Hello, hiya, it's Esther here, and I've just decided to do this fairly spontaneous Facebook Live, and the camera's doing really weird things to my face. I've just been giggling my head off because it keeps cutting me into squares. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to last at this before I have fits of the giggles and I have to stop talking. So anyway, I just wanted to talk this evening for only for a few minutes. I'm not going to talk for ages because well, I've decided I'm getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning, and so I need to go to bed. So, oh God, I don't know if that's showing to anybody that's watching this, but it looks really weird from where I am. So what I wanted to talk about anyway was about self-discovery and self-study and the value that there is to be had in digging in to yourself and seeing what's inside. It's a fascinating thing to do, and it's incredible, incredible the things that you can find out about yourself that you don't actually know. My journey of self-discovery began when I did my yoga teacher training. After years and years and years of being really, really good at hiding from myself, my yoga teacher training forced me to start to look at myself and to get to know the person that I really was, and the person that I was underneath all the cider and wine and cigarettes and everything else. And I was quite surprised to find that I actually quite liked that person. I liked it a lot more than the person that I thought I was. And so since then, I've spent quite a lot of time trying to figure myself out. And it's like, every day there's a new discovery. Every day I find another thing about myself, or I have another insight into myself. I have a new idea about something. And what's been really interesting about this journey is I thought when I stopped drinking 2.5 years ago, I thought, that's it, I'm cured, I'm fine, I'm all good now, I don't need to drink anymore, don't need to smoke anymore, don't need to take drugs anymore, I'm good. But then, of course, I really quickly realized that, well, there was actually a reason why I was drinking. There was a reason why I was smoking. There was a reason why I was angry and hiding from the world. And that actually stopping drinking was just sort of clearing the path to get to all the other stuff that lay underneath. And the Yoga Sutras, which I have this wonderful book here called, I can't work out, Understanding the Yoga Darshan, which is by Dr. Ananda Bhavanani. In Sutra 1.18 of the Yoga Sutras, it says, latent unconscious habits spring up once we have dealt with the conscious ones. Now, I read this and was still quite surprised that I discovered all this stuff that I had to clear out once I stopped drinking. But it's a really interesting journey. Self-discovery, self-study, self-knowledge. It's really powerful. We've all got reasons. You've got things that you're not even aware of about why you behave in certain ways, why you act the way you do, why you think the way you do, why you see yourself in a particular light. When we're born, we come into this world with no perceptions, no preconceptions of who we are at all. And as we grow up, we learn what we think the world is like. We learn who we think we are. We learn what the world wants us to be, or what we think the world wants us to be. And we absorb all this information that we're getting from what people are saying to us, from the perceptions that we're taking from experiences. An instant can happen to you as a child. Something happens, and you perceive that in a particular way. And when you're a child, you might not, you don't even know that you're making a judgment based on something that's happening to you in a moment, but that can stay with you. I'm sure I've got countless examples, but I'm sure you can think of things, like sprouts. I hate sprouts because I have a memory of abject misery of being made to eat sprouts when I was a child. Now, to me, that is embedded deeply in my subconscious. Everything in me hates sprouts with a passion. Now, I don't think I'll ever, well, I'm sure I will one day maybe get past that. But that was embedded deeply in me from childhood. And we pick up all of this stuff as we're growing up, little things that we're told, things that people might say. Adults say stupid things sometimes, and children hear that and don't understand that maybe the adult's joking. Maybe the adult just said that because they're having a bad day. Maybe the comment that you might pick up on as a child wasn't even aimed at you, but you thought it was. So you absorbed that. It might have been a negative comment from your mum that wasn't actually meant for you, but you thought it was meant for you, so you absorbed that and you internalize that, and it all becomes part of who you think you are. And when we start to dig into who we are, dig into ourselves, and start, like looking at different ways to get to know yourself, you can discover all kinds of incredible things about yourself, things that you really didn't know and that you will never know unless you consciously start looking. I know when I was doing my yoga teacher training, I had to write lots of essays, and these essays became total stream of consciousness for me. I would just sit on my laptop and I would type and type and type and type and type and type and type, and I would write reams and reams. My poor yoga teacher, the garbage she must have had to go through, because I never edited any of it. It was like, here it is me. But in those kind of epic ramble, stream of consciousness things, I would discover stuff about myself that I didn't ever have any inkling about. Oh, hi Tracy. Hi Michael. I remember sitting at my laptop, sitting here where I am now at a different table, but sitting here and writing stuff, and then sitting back in my chair and going, I didn't know that. My subconscious mind had written it all out because my subconscious mind knew. My conscious mind had no idea. So all the times I was making decisions, I was projecting who I thought I was out into the world. It was based on stuff I didn't have a clue about. So there is tremendous power in going into yourself and looking at who you are, and really getting in and letting your subconscious guide you, not sitting down and thinking with your conscious brain, who am I, what am I doing, it's not going to work. You can't do it with your conscious brain. You have to dig in and get to your subconscious. And there are lots of ways you can do this, but the most powerful ways that I found are through writing. Just sitting down with a pen and a paper, or sitting at a laptop and maybe have a question in your head that you want to answer, and then just writing, not thinking, just writing. Just let the words come straight from wherever your subconscious, straight from here, and sometimes it feels like it's coming from here as well. Just let those words pour out of you. Don't think about them, don't edit them, don't read them until you finish, don't analyze them, don't look at them. Just write and write and write and write, and then go back and see what you've written. And if you get into the habit of doing that, your subconscious mind will eventually figure out that actually that's what you're doing. You can make that a habit. You can make that a daily practice. The morning pages with the Artist's Way, I think the name of the program is, that recommends you sit down and you write 3 pages every day. And I did it a little bit. I think I did it for about a week. I sat down and I wrote 15 pages. I wrote 3 pages. And it was amazing. But then there's other things I want to do in the morning. You can't do everything. So that is one really powerful way, writing. Yeah, Tracy, it's amazing what comes out when you write. It really is. You just don't know what's going to come out. It's amazing. I've written essay question answers. I've answered questions that I've been asking myself for years in doing this. I've made connections between things that happened when I was tiny and things that are happening now. It's so powerful. So writing is a really powerful way. Another way is reading personal development books, stuff like yoga books, or any lovely to see you soon, Michael, bye. Any book that is going to help you look inside yourself. So at the moment I'm reading quite a few books. I've got my Yoga Sutra book, which I dip into quite often. I've also been reading Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back, and that blew my mind a couple of weeks ago. I had an amazing day reading that. I'm also reading at the moment a book called Overcoming Under-Earning, and because realizing how much I'm stuck in a particular mindset around money. And there are lots of books that you can, I mean, the personal development market is huge, you know, it's enormous. I've written one, everyone's written a personal development book. So there are a lot of books that you can read that will help to sort of, you know, they trigger thoughts, they give you insights. You can really get to know yourself and have some ideas, and then maybe they will trigger some journaling ideas. So reading is a really powerful way. Any learning that you can do, and even things like, you know, learning about things like psychology, you know, learning from a more scientific perspective as well can be really helpful. You understand how our brains work. That gives you a really great insight into how we are, and looking at child development and things like that. Anything that helps you understand how you work as a human being, it all helps. And the other thing, which you know, obviously I'm a yoga teacher, so you knew this was coming, but sitting quietly and just being in the moment, being present, being where you are right now, just accepting where you are, just being focused on your breath or on a mantra, or, you know, if you use mala beads, focusing on a candle, anything just to keep your mind focused on one thing, keeping your conscious mind focused on one thing, and then your subconscious can just open up to you. And it is amazing. I've come out of sitting on my yoga mat and I've written down loads of stuff. I've had loads of insight. I came up with a workshop idea last week. You just anything can happen when you sit still and you sit quiet and you just spend that time with yourself. Absolutely anything can happen. It can be really powerful. I've been my morning practice for the last few weeks now has been less about the physical yoga, of which I've actually been doing very little at the moment, but I'm just sitting, I'm just on my mat, and I just like to sit. I spend about 30 minutes there, and it's amazing. I love it. I really enjoy it. I get such a lot from it. When I started doing that, when I started trying to do that, I think I would do about 30 seconds and I think, this is no good. I can't do this. I'm rubbish at this. I can't do it. But realizing that the objective in that isn't to achieve a completely empty brain. You know, we're not going to, you can, it's possible. But that's quite a high level kind of way to approach a meditation. At the level that most people are at, what you want looking for is to get in control of your thoughts and to be able to let them go when you're having, you know, if you find that you're going off on a tangent, you're thinking about, I don't know, whatever you might be thinking about, your shopping list or what you want to do for your holidays, or what you're going to buy for Christmas in 2 years' time, or whatever you might, you know, the mind goes off on all kinds of weird tangents. But when you notice, when you see that you're doing that, when you become aware that you're going off on a tangent, you're letting your thoughts carry you away somewhere, you bring them back. You come back to the breath. And it's that noticing and that letting go. That's where the power is. That's where the transformation comes. That is where the magic lies in this practice. It certainly has been for me. It's in that learning to let go of that thought. And for me to get up to 30 minutes now, that feels like that's a lot. That's a good achievement for me. My brain is very it's like 20 butterflies in my head all at once, going in all sorts of different directions at any given moment. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to get to a point where I'd have so many thoughts going on in my head that then I would be like, I can't remember anything that I was just thinking, because there was just so much going on that I couldn't pinpoint a single thought after a while. And so to be able to get to that point where there's one train of thought going on in my head, that's awesome. So, you know, if you sit down and you try and do a meditation, you sit down, you try and get quiet, and you think you can't do it because you can't stop your thoughts, it's not the point. It's not what you need to be doing. What you need to be doing is just having that awareness of your thoughts. And once you've got your awareness of your thoughts on your mat, or on your chair, or sitting on your bed, I quite often, if it's a cold morning, I'll just sit on my bed with my legs crossed, and I'll pull my quilt over my legs, and I'll sit there. So wherever you're sitting, make sure you're sitting up straight, so you're not sitting on your sofa and you're not slumping. But you can do this anyway, you know, you can do this when you get into your office before you start work. Sit down and just spend a couple of minutes being quiet before you turn on your computer, before you open your emails, before you go to a meeting. Do this, get yourself calm, get yourself present, and just be in the moment, and start to be aware of who you are right now, and what you're thinking and where you are at the moment. And in that practice, if you make a practice of that, you will get to know yourself. You will get to know where your thoughts go. You'll get to know what kind of thoughts preoccupy you. You know, it may be that you're having brilliant thoughts all the time, and because there's so much going on in your head, you can't actually pinpoint the moments of brilliance. You might have some amazing ideas, but they get lost in all the other stuff. So if we can quieten the mind down, then you will come to a place of calm and peace and self-discovery. And so for the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of this self-discovery, and it's just amazing what happens when you get to understand yourself. I would highly recommend, if you're feeling like your life isn't where you want it to be, you know, there's lots of practical, go out and change your life, go and get a new job, get better in your business, go and whatever. There's all kinds of practical, real worldy things you can do. And I'm not saying that you don't need to do that. You do need to do those practical things. But in the last couple of weeks, I have gone from feeling like I was quite stressed a couple of weeks ago. Lots of things seemed to be going wrong, and I felt really quite unhappy. And I've been doing a lot of going in and realizing just what is inside me that actually means that it's all okay, and finding happiness that exists in me, that, you know, I'm okay, and actually I'm really quite like myself at the moment. I'm really quite happy with myself. I'm happy with who I am, and I feel powerful. That gives me power, that gives me strength, and it gives me real happiness. You know, I've got no money. I'm single. I still live where I always lived. All of those things made me really miserable a few weeks ago, but now I'm thinking, well, it's okay. Life is going to be great. Life is great because it's all okay. It's all good. So whatever your external circumstances, if you can get content in here and in here, then it's all okay. Everything will be fine, and you can just go into whatever it is you need to do in a much more positive frame of mind. And when you're in a more positive frame of mind, then more positive things are going to happen. So I think that's all I wanted to say, really. If you would like to talk to me about any of this in more detail, and we can have a chat, I'd love to help you with this. This is really exciting to me. I think this is so much to be gained from helping people with this. So if I can help you get started on a path of, whether it's with your breathing, with your meditation, with your self-discovery, however I can help, then please do get in touch. I would love to speak to you. We can jump on a Zoom call and have a chat. And Jackie, what do you want? It's the quiet mind that scares me. That with these thoughts, beliefs, rules has begun to define me. Now you see, that's it. This is the other thing I've been rambling on about in my head such a lot recently is fear. Because when we get to know ourselves, when you get to know yourself in that quiet, then it's less scary. What we fear is other stuff. that we don't really know. If you're not being in your truth, if you're not being the truth of who you are, who you meant to be, you're not living in your truth, then life is scary. And getting to know yourself is scary. It's painful. It's excruciatingly painful at times. It can bring up all kinds of stuff that you don't see coming. It can change your relationships with people, but it's part of a journey, and you come through that journey, and things get, it strengthens the things that need to be strengthened, and the things that need to be let go of get let go of, and you find your power in that. And when you've got your power, when you're in your power, life can't possibly be scary, because if you are standing up, if you are walking out into the world in your power, in your strength, knowing fully who you are, then life can't possibly be scary. Your thoughts, your beliefs, and your rules that have defined you to the point that you're scared of finding out who you are without them, they're not helping you. So start with just little baby steps, Jackie. Just take little baby steps. We can talk next week if you like. We'll have time, we can go for a cup of tea and we can have a chat about this. We're going to have a cuppa and costa. So it'll be fine. You're on the path already, so you're going to go there. You're coming to my yoga classes. You're already on the path with me. So let's have a chat over a cup of tea next week. All right. Tracy, I see your comment. It's good to look back over it after a few months and see. It really is. I love that. I love looking back at how I used to be, how I used to think, who I used to be, and wow, it's like, who's that? I barely recognize myself sometimes, and I certainly don't recognize the way I used to see myself. I couldn't possibly sit in front of a live stream camera and talk to people and be able to look at myself all the time, because I just couldn't have done that. But I quite like this now. It really is. And if you keep a regular journal, if you keep a regular diary, and I wish I did, I wish I could say I do, but I don't. I've got about 40,000 notebooks with different bits of scraps of paper lying around the place. But when you look back and you think, God, did I really used to think that? It really is amazing. So yeah, it's a very powerful journey. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to go to bed now because I want to get up to do an early morning crack of dawn meditation practice in the morning. So I will see you all soon. If anybody has any questions, if you want to ask me anything, please do get in touch. As I said, I would love to speak to you, and I will see you all very soon.